Hi, I'm Paul Fiorelli, and I direct the Cintas Institute for Business Ethics at Xavier University. The session I'm proposing is called Culture Eats Strategy for Breakfast, and that's a quote from management guru Peter Drucker. And what I would do is I would break this into three separate parts: what, so what, and now what. Whenever I think of what, a really good report that was put out by another management professor. Her name's Linda Trevino. Did this really excellent study about 25 years ago. And she broke corporate culture into four separate parts: shared values. What's the tone of the organization? Whenever we think of tone, we always think of tone at the top, but we also have to think about what's the mood at the middle and the buzz at the base. Third element is the perception of fairness, and it's also called procedural justice. People are much more willing to accept a decision if they think it was arrived at fairly. And the last element is a willingness to bring bad news forward. I also like to talk about Jack Welch, who's a former CEO of GE. He looked at management to four different buckets of people: those that make the numbers, don't make the numbers, share the values, don't share the values. So the person that makes the numbers and shares the values, they're gold. I mean, we love that person. The person that doesn't make the numbers and doesn't share the values, they're toast. The person that shares the values but doesn't make the numbers, we try to give them another chance or two. But what about the person that makes the numbers but doesn't share the values? They're the high potential people, the hypos, if you will. And how we deal with that person really defines the culture of the organization. Because if we promote that person and we reward that person, what we're really telling everybody is that values are irrelevant. We want you to hit the numbers. The second part is, why do we care? And there's a really good regulatory and business case you can make for why corporate culture is important. For regulatory, I think of Health and Human Services, Office of Inspector General. I also think of the Department of Justice guidelines. Third is, what about the U.S. Sentencing Commission, the federal sentencing guidelines for organization? They all talk about the importance of having a strong, ethical corporate culture. For a business case, really good reports that Grant Thornton has put out, that it's a strong corporate culture is really effective for recruitment, retention, reputation, all these really good reasons why we think corporate culture is important. And the last part of this would be, how do we improve it? And what I like to look at is storytelling. Storytelling is really important in having this, really underscoring why do we care? You know, why is this important? And Robert Redford has this great quote. He said, "Storytellers broaden our minds, engage, provoke, inspire, and ultimately connect us." And I've got a couple examples of, I think, are really good stories, one from Zappos and one from L'Oreal. So this is just a broad overview of how I would like to present that, and I hope you would consider this. It'd be my pleasure to present. Thanks a lot. Bye.